We've reached the final chapter of our journey through psychology. Throughout this course, we've studied the typical workings of the mind. Now we turn, with care, to what happens when those workings cause serious distress and difficulty, the study of psychological disorders. This is a topic that touches nearly everyone, directly or through someone we love, so let's approach it with both scientific rigor and genuine compassion. The first hard question is deceptively simple. What makes a thought or behavior a disorder, rather than just unusual? It's harder to answer than it looks. Being different isn't a disorder. Being eccentric isn't a disorder. Psychologists generally look for a combination of features, sometimes summarized as the 4 Ds. There's deviance, behavior that departs markedly from cultural norms. Distress, the person experiences significant suffering. Dysfunction, the behavior interferes with daily life, work, and relationships. And danger, though this one is far rarer than stereotypes suggest. No single one of these defines a disorder by itself. What matters is the overall pattern, especially distress and dysfunction. The key takeaway is that disorders are not about being weird or different. They're about patterns that cause real suffering or impair a person's ability to live their life. To bring order to this, clinicians use a shared classification system. In much of the world, that's the DSM, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, published by the American Psychiatric Association. The DSM provides standardized criteria for diagnosing each disorder, so that clinicians everywhere can communicate clearly and consistently. It's a tool for reliability, regularly revised as our understanding grows. How do we understand where disorders come from? The modern field has largely abandoned single-cause explanations in favor of the biopsychosocial model, the recognition that disorders emerge from the interaction of biological factors, like genes and brain chemistry, psychological factors like thoughts and coping styles, and social factors like stress, trauma, and culture. A closely related idea is the diathesis-stress model, the notion that a person may carry an underlying vulnerability, a diathesis that only develops into a disorder when triggered by sufficient stress. Vulnerability plus stress, interacting. Before we go further, a word about something that does as much harm as many disorders themselves: stigma. The shame and discrimination attached to mental illness keep people from seeking help, and they're based on myths. Disorders are common, they're treatable, and they're nobody's fault or failing. With that compassionate framing in place, in the next segment, we'll look at the most common category of all, the anxiety disorders.